Right, it's going to be part 5 of the low-cost electric bike build. Let's take a closer look at what I've been doing. Right, as you can see, I've only got a single chain to the rear wheel now. The motor now drives the main front crank sprocket. Just need pedal assist now. And I've added an extra sprocket right in the back of here, which I'll show you now. So what I've done is I've taken a kind of mountain bike front sprocket or crank sprocket cassette part, and I've used the middle one and bolted it via the original rivet holes to 5 M8 bolts, which are welded to the back of the main original crank sprocket. I did try using the largest one out of the mountain bike arrangements, but I was having problems with the chains rubbing around the circumference because I think that's a 44 tooth and the mountain bike one was 46, so there was very little sort of distance between the two chains as it went around, which caused friction, and I don't particularly want that. I'm trying to sort of gain as least resistance as possible. So by using the smaller one, I've got the added benefit of dropping the gear in a little bit, and the chains don't rub. And the middle one is also offset a little ways. There's a slight dish to it there, so these chains no longer rub together like we did previously. The rear sprocket, I tried using a 16 tooth freewheel sprocket, it's a normal one, but I found that it was alright on the flat when pedalling, but on hills it was hard work, which meant that even with the motor providing assistance, it was going to be hard work for the motor as well. So what I've done is I've welded a larger sprocket to the original single freewheel. And this gears just slightly under 1-to-1 gearing. I think that's something like 38 tooth. I think that one's something like about a 36. But it means then that I can pedal up hills fine, and when I'm using the motor for assistance, that also works a lot easier as well, which was the whole point of the changes. This area here has been modified to fit a battery. Again, from part 4 I mentioned that I was only going to use a single battery now. I've got this idea of later on building a lithium ion battery pack using the same form factor as that lead acid battery, which will increase my power density but decrease the weight of the battery pack. To squeeze that in there, I had to cut the chain stays on both sides there, and then jack them down with a scissor jack, and then put slugs in the frame to reinforce it. Not these type of slugs. That would be cool. By slug in the frame, I mean doing this. What you do is, say that's your frame tube, you put a piece of solid bar or thick wall steel tube, which is a very close fitting outside diameter to the inside diameter of your frame tube, and then you put your other side of your frame tube over it, and then you weld up the outside, so you weld the inner part to the outer part on both sides, which introduces strength back into your frame. You can also drill holes around here and plug weld it as well, and once you've sort of finished it back, you won't notice a difference. If you were to just kind of butt weld a piece of bicycle frame together like that, it's such a thin wall, the chances are it's going to crack or over time fail, which is not good really. Any type of frame that's using thin wall tube, you should really reinforce it somehow, either by putting a slug inside it or by going over the top of the tube or something. In this case I've actually done both. Here's a little closer look. This tray is actually welded to the outside of the tubes, and there are slugs on the inside, just to reinforce it. Right, in part 6 I'll be removing the original battery tray and making a slight modification to the frame here. This is because I've noticed when I'm pedaling it, the front wheel is not running in line with the back wheel. It's slightly offset, and the reason behind that is the folding bike hinge here. For some reason, when it's in the lock position, instead of being dead straight, allowing the wheels to run in line, there's a slight bend in it, which is great if I was building a NASCAR bicycle and I was always going around a corner, but I'm not. I want it to run and track straight, so what I've got to do is cut it vertically along that wheel there and just kick the frame in so that it then realigns the headstock and the front wheel to the rear half of the frame. If I don't, an exaggeration, say that's the back wheel, that's, if you're looking down at the wheels, they're kind of like that in time when they should be like that. Originally I thought it was because the front wheel was offsetting the forks, but a few measurements and checking and adjustments, and it wasn't. So that will be the next installment in part 6. So that's it for part 5. If you like the project so far, please subscribe, and I'll see you in part 6. Thanks for watching.